Hello, my best regards. I will talk about the subject development and verification of a verbal corpus based on natural language for Ecuadorian dialects for the Semantic Robot Congress. The summary is introduction, previous work, development, implementation, check, and conclusions. Introduction. The use of the corpus becomes essential in the development of applications based on natural language processing in Ecuador. These applications are incompatible because in each region use words outside the context of Spanish. This article presents the development of a corpus compatible with Ecuadorian natural language words. We apply an identification algorithm to take advantage of local literature and power a new database. The corpus method is verified by a quantitative and qualitative comparison with an open access corpus. The result is the first corpus in the country with high scalability and great versatility. The natural language of Ecuador adds linguistic expressions such as cultural expression, spelling error, words from Quechua language, and other changes that should be considered. To use natural language processing based applications in Ecuador and another Spanish-speaking country must consider all expression with the linguistic corpus uses. The development of Ecuadorian corpus is necessary, includes several linguistic cultures. Then we use Ecuadorian literature examples. Our proposed corpus was verified and implemented in Python. Using Natural Language Toolkit, we have created a corpus with only Ecuadorian verbs which is based on a Spanish corpus and has been modified to adapt to our natural language, and methods for extracting words have been used which take advantage of a literary collection. The extracted words are subjected to analysis to obtain verbs used only in the country, comparing with a database in Spanish. Development. To develop Ecuadorian corpus, we use digital books written by local authors and based in everyday events. An example using a traditional book called Huasipungo, where it is normal to find Ecuadorian expressions rapidly. The goal is to retrieve this information and natural language of the Ecuadorian literature using natural language processing recovery techniques. An open consultation is effective and suggested in this picture. It is described how the system retrieves textual information with a simple comparison. This picture is the architecture of an information retrieval system. Development of the corpus is necessary to detect errors. Errors can be of two types according to spelling and syntax. Error can be detected for the spelling, making a list of engrams in which the words are verified. This verification is enhanced by use of a threshold that limits the frequency of the words. This checklist must be complete with the words of the end user, in this case Ecuadorians. Reference to dictionaries. using lemmas in dictionaries, and use rules that allow verifying the words. For the syntax errors, require the consideration of the relationship between words in a sentence, and you can also check in two ways: using a corpus. Trademarks or brandwidth are used to determine reference syntax errors, a set of syntactic rules. This depends on the language and requires that the rule system be very flexible and support certain peculiarities. This type of detection do not present in the corpus because are not flexible. It is necessary that the words are written correctly according with the popularity established. The appropriate approach is to use anagrams of words of own labels established in the literary reference of Ecuadorian writers. Okay. In the Ecuador, the official language is Spanish. Therefore, we can use a corpus of Spanish for processing, natural language processing. However, it is discarded word used in the country. It is necessary to create a corpus with verbs that the country inhabitants are commonly use. The idea is to add new words to a general corpus of the Spanish language and create a new larger corpus. To create the new corpus and get Ecuadorian verbs, here three cases can be obtained: from native language such as Quechua, exclusive expressions of a language, idioms, new words by fads or trends. Natural language in the Ecuadorian highlands is influenced by the Quechua and other expressions for the native language of a country. Some verbs become popular and new commonly used. Their verbs have different structural form verb in Spanish, but few of these words are used. Therefore, an Ecuadorian Quechua book teaching language is used. In this book, the most commonly used verbs are indicated. Idioms have been used for several years in the country. Therefore, use the linguistic resource of Ecuador, where these words are used. An algorithm is created to obtain the necessary words of Ecuadorian books, for which is used as a resource for comparison existing corpus in Spanish. The stop words are removed from the Spanish corpus verbs. The matched those in the corpus are extracted, and it remains only words that do not appear in their base. The Spanish verbs with conjugations are characterized by their endings. These terminations are compared to half possible verbs to check the algorithm in compared to their base containing all the words, not only verbs, and as a final filter. The words are not the same, with these are considered as new words of verbs. Also, it keeps the words before passing them, comparing the conjugation, and the comparison is made in general database. This structure is represented by this picture. Okay, next, the implementation. In the article, the processing of sentence entered by the users presented written in Spanish. The respective analysis from the verb take place is the fundamental part of a grammatical sentence. Sentence is the smallest grammatical unit, complete sense, and act of current communication. So this is the main point of study, and where you should begin the study processing a sentence. Through software, it is the cornerstone for understanding a human language by a computer. by a computer. Uh, Processing a digital books is performed by means of an applications consist of four parts: separation of plain text in sentences, separation of the subject and predicate of a sentence, recognition of verbal conjugation used in the sentence, labeling and storage of words. The application starts with a cover and, then a main window with two buttons that open the subject and predicate separator of verb detector depending on the case. In the separator, the sentences are separated into subject and predicate. Also, it does validate cases which subject are tacit or not a verb is entered. In the detector, after detecting a verb, it is compared with the full corpus and storing if it's new local word. Check. Existing resources for Spanish within Natural Language Toolkit not contain what is necessary to perform the application. The library CSS free library, which contains several words that have their own labeling. They have a lot of words, are not enough for the application. This library has entered text a total of 6,030 sentences. Labels used to represent morphological information are based on the morphosyntactic annotation lexicons proposed by the Eagles Group. No good results from this library are obtained, and therefore the application does not work properly. The Spanish verbal corpus is then used to perform processing of the sentence. But this corpus does not contain the verbs native of Ecuador, therefore it is necessary to expand the corpus for the better performance. By the algorithm, to obtain new verbs, the database is increased, and then monitoring the results and rating of existing conjugations for each new verbs extend the initial corpus. The new corpus entered in the first modification of the corpus. It is added a total of 4,094 new verbs, of which 80 are most commonly used verbs Quechua and 4,014 obtained from idioms used by the Ecuadorians. That modification used 3 popular books and 2 specialist text files. Imputing more books, we can further increase this list of verbs and thus complement it. This is the results. Now finally, the conclusions. The algorithm can be used to enter text and text messages, social networking, states, documents, etc., to extract words frequently or new verbs that have been created by young Ecuadorian trends and thus improve the corpus use. The corpus made allows the implementation of applications for processing local books with better results. Then this corpus could be used to improve the human-computer interaction applies to Ecuador. To obtain an optimal processing algorithm language, it is necessary to revise the parameters of the language. The corpus created an improvement of an existing Spanish corpus, which adds to that corpus new books verbs extracted from native country. The development of a corpus with the presented method implies the necessity of a monitoring system because it can present orthographic errors or lack of words meaning in the obtain of verbs for several sources. The results show can be improved that they are poured words to corpus because the more verbs are added, this will have a better performance. So thank you very much.